Hey everyone, it is Friday, October 22nd. The time is 12:30 p.m. and the temperature right now is around 7 degrees Celsius. And I am here at Riverdale Park West.
What kind of camera is that?
This camera? DJI Pocket 2.
Can I see it?
Well, if you don't mind being on video, it's just a little handheld 4K camera with a gimbal built in, so it kind of steadies the picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just making a YouTube video right now.
you are?
Yep. Well, have a good day, sir.
Good luck with your filming.
Thank you. Well, that's an interesting start to the day. There's some kind of film crew here in the park. And I think they were waiting for the dogs with the guy who was just talking to me to stop yapping so they could start filming a scene. And there's a look at a cow. There's a number of different animals in this farm, including horses. And a goat was recently stolen from here. And admission to the farm is free. And I think you can find all those details online. But for this one, I'm going to be heading over to River Street and then walking south through the Regent Park neighborhood to Shooter Street. And then I'll walk west along the entire length of Shooter Street over to Yonge. And then I'll head over to a subway station. And I think these are lambs. Don't quote me on that. So Riverdale Park is divided into two. This being the west side. And the neighborhood it sits in, at least Riverdale Park West, is Cabbagetown. And this is the eastern terminus of Carlton Street. And dividing the two Riverdale parks is the Don River and the Don Valley Parkway. And those run through that valley just off in the distance. Riverdale Park East being off in that direction. I should be able to cut over to River Street through this path here.
Dude, do you get a cigarette?
Sorry,
Alright.
I don't smoke. I'm just making a video.
What is
It's
that? That's amazing. Look at that. That's a tiny
well, it's
camera.
yeah, it stabilizes it. So if I
Look at that. That's fucking crazy.
I have a YouTube channel, so
What is it?
Johnny Strides.
Nice tries, like, shit.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, like,
If you don't want to be in the video, I can blur you out.
What are you doing on the video? Like,
I just do walks through Toronto. So
walks to Toronto, like, can I walk with you? Like, you're gonna get some.
no, I do them solo, but
Like, break down the tree. It's like, holy shit! Like, I'm losing my breath too, yo. Like,
yeah. All right,
yeah,
well,
but, all right.
I gotta get going, but nice to meet you. Have a good day. Cheers. This tiny camera is drawing all sorts of attention at the start of this one. Friendly people though, as is usually the case. And here is Spruce Street. So I'm currently walking south. And this here is River Street. And this runs down to Bayview Avenue. And that's a major north-south node that runs along the east side of downtown. And coming up is Gerrard Street, and just on the other side will be the Regent Park neighborhood. There's a 506 Carlton streetcar. That'll turn north at Parliament and then head on up to Carlton Street, where I just was. And then it'll continue on west across the city along Carlton and College Street. And there's a look east along Gerrard. And that'll take you into the East Chinatown neighborhood. There's a closer look at Regent Park. And that is, or at least it was, a social housing project, and it was developed after the Second World War. And prior to that, in the early 1900s, this was all part of Cabbagetown. But the area had gradually turned into what you could deem to be slums. So the city's solution was to clean it all up and put in social housing. But unfortunately, not too long after the housing project was complete, the area quickly went into a state of decline again. Things like drugs and crime started to run a bit more rampant, which eventually led to, in 2005, a total redevelopment of the area. And it's currently on phase 3 of 5. So a lot of these original buildings here have already been taken down, and the residents have been rehomed into newer accommodations. Smaller, but at the same rate. There's a similar redevelopment going on at Alexandra Park, over on the west end of downtown. So it's a mixed use of market rate condos and rent geared to income units now. And River Street here runs south down into the Canary District through Corktown. And south of King, it's known as Lower River. And just south of there is where you'll find Underpass Park. Here's a close look at an unfinished condo. And this is Dundas Street East. That cuts through the heart of Regent Park. I did a morning walk along Dundas not too long ago. It looks like all those homes won't be standing much longer. There's a look into a newer part of the park. There's a large athletic field just on the other side there. And it looks like the sidewalk closes just here. So maybe I need to cross over to the east side of the river. And here is Shooter Street. And this would be the eastern terminus of Shooter. So I think this entire walk will be somewhere around 2.5 kilometers. It'll be one of the shorter ones. There's a look into the athletic field. There's the Sumac Shooter Parkette across the street. And in the winter, it didn't come out right. This turns into a public skating rink. The Regent Park Athletic Grounds. That would be the official name of this area. And coming up on the right is the Nelson Mandela Park Public School. I'm forgetting what the original name was, but it was renamed after Nelson Mandela, I think in 2001. And it appears as if the main entrance has been moved to the north side of the building. I just want to get a closer look at these Halloween decorations. That old witch in the rocking chair was pretty good. There's the Regent Park Community Center. Hey, an old home and park. My dad used to have a couple of these vans. He had one in the 80s. Then he upgraded to a newer one, I think in 95. And we're at Sackville. Another look north up into Regent Park. And to the south is Corktown, although it's very much a continuation of Cabbagetown. And I wonder if these buildings are going to be up for redevelopment. There's some old workers' cottage style homes. There's a rare sight downtown, a big empty vacant lot. And coming up is Parliament Street. And on the left will be Moss Park, or more specifically, the 3 original Moss Park towers. I'll cross over here to the north side. And these 3 apartments here are part of Toronto community housing, and they were built in the 60s. And this area, like Regent Park, doesn't have the best reputation. And just a little further to the west is a large park called Moss Park. There you can see the financial district off in the distance. There's Ontario Street, and that runs up through St. Jamestown. Another area that was a large housing project. Although Ontario Street briefly comes to an end at the Moss Park Towers, it resumes on the other side of King Street, or rather Queen Street, which is the major street that runs along the south side of the apartment complex there. And this is Nighthawk Lane. Might take the cake for the best laneway name in the city. There's a look north up Eaton Street. This building here is not part of the Moss Park Towers. This apartment building's getting an all new look. Used to be kind of a dingy looking brown brick apartment. And I'm sure once the landlord is done with those repairs or upgrades, they'll be applying for above board rent increase. And here is Sherburne Street. It looks like they also want to tack on a few other buildings onto the property. That's become a very common thing here. So just south of here is one of the more notorious intersections in the city. There's a number of homeless shelters and a safe injection site in the area. Although it's worth noting, I've never had any problems here. I've walked through holding a camera countless times. And that's Moss Park itself. And that is a shitload of pigeons. This whole row of homes here goes back to the 1870s. And this area is known as the Garden District, named after the Allen Gardens, which is just to the north of here. And that was Pembroke Street. And there's still a bit of an encampment at this part of Moss Park. And these homes as well date back to the 1800s. Oh, this one even has a plaque in the doorway. And here is George Street. I did a walk up there last year. And this is where the old Walnut Hall used to be. There's the Moss Park Armory that houses several regiments of the Canadian National Forces. National Forces, Armed Forces, I don't know. That was built in the 60s. And this is Jarvis and Shooter. I walked through here, I think, on Wednesday, recording a video. I went southbound Jarvis Street. And I titled that video, "The Ugliest Major Street in Downtown Toronto." I did put a question mark on it. And the sounds of the never-ending construction echo through the city, as always. There is no escaping it. And Shooter terminates to the west straight ahead at the Eaton Center. That's at Yonge Street. There's a look up Mutual Street. There's the old Cooper and Gillespie houses. And these date back to 1850, and they're kind of wedged between these more modern buildings. And this is Church Street. Lined with churches, but it is named after just one of them. And that being the St. James Cathedral, which is well off to the south and was the first church in that street or in that area. Hence the name Church Street. Though it's not the oldest one in the city. And coming up is St. Mike's Hospital. This is a major adult trauma center. You'll often see the orange helicopters, I think, landing on this building right here. Either that's where the helipad is, or it's right over here. I've seen them land from Dundas Street before and recorded that in a video.
You can
When I broke my pinky finger, this is where I went. The emergency service was pretty quick. I got an x-ray. And I had a follow-up appointment scheduled with their hand clinic, where I was assigned an orthopedic surgeon and a physiotherapist to mend things back. It's a pretty good level of care considering the cost was absolutely nothing, other than our tax dollars, of course. There's where you'd enter the emergency room. There's Massey Hall. And it's undergoing a rather extensive refurbishment. The hanging sign has been removed from the street here. And this is Victoria Street. That's the Pantages condo just on the right. And a Fran's Diner that's been here, I think, as long as the building has. Although their Front Street location closed down during the pandemic. This one and the flagship one just north of here in College still remain. Some neat street art. This here on the right is O'Keefe Lane. If you ever want to see some things, go for a walk down there at night. And we've made it to Yonge Street, so that's the end of Shooter. I'm just going to walk north up and pop into the subway station. There's the Eaton Center. It's the Ed Mirvish Theater. I don't know if shows have resumed there yet. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child begins spring of 2022. Oh, and it looks like EB Games is rebranded to GameStop in Canada. That's new. I was not aware of that. Ooh, Popeyes would be good. I'm pretty hungry right now. And where else but Dundas Square? I think I hear the Singing Man off in the distance somewhere. There's a ball rolling through the square. There he is, right in the middle of the intersection. Probably not the safest place to be doing that. All right, I'm gonna throw my mask on and head down into the tubes. This kind of mask I've switched to is a bit trickier to put on one-handed. I think I've got it on. There we go. And there we go. Next train in 2 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this walk. Starting from Riverdale Park West, down River Street to Shooter, and then across Shooter to here at Yonge-Dundas. If you wish to support the channel, there are links to my YouTube channel membership and Patreon membership in the description. And I also have an Instagram account.
Do you have anything on you that I should be concerned about? Any weapons? Anything?
No, I don't have nothing.
Do you have any drugs on you?
The guy is there.
Drugs over there?
My ID is there. Don't have ID. Don't have ID.
Sir, can you pass
Oh. I think that cop just signaled towards this way for some reason. But here comes the train. I'll keep the camera away from them. They seem to be doing some kind of investigation. And once I get on the train, I'll stop recording. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I also have another channel, Johnny Stumbles. Swing by there and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.
From Thursday, October 21st through Saturday, October 23rd. The clinics are open to everyone daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. First and second doses will be offered. Appointments will not be required. For more information, please visit pcc.ca.
Line 1, fourth page. Please stand clear of the doors. Next station.